Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Drivers love it, spectators love it, and all the primitive historical paddock facilities might not get the same sort of reception from the teams. Interlagos is one of the all-time classic circuits, and yet again brings about the season finale of the Formula Renault 3.5 Championship here on Apex Racing TV. And wow, what a cracker it has been all season, and I'm sure today is going to be no different. You're joined by myself, Tim Cox. We've got Sam Fitzpatrick in the virtual production trailer, but right now I'm joined by Seth Bosch-Williams and a new voice to Apex Racing TV. Aaron Smith joins us. We've got qualifying just getting underway right now. Well, Seb, it was a bit of a crazy race last time out at Phillip Island, and what a way to break what has been just a complete, utter dominance from Eddie Samborski all season. Every single victory, 10 out of 10, until we got to Australia last time out, where it just changed for the first time.
It certainly did. You know, good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody in the commentary booth as well. Yeah, it was an amazing race, wasn't it? Phillip Island always seems to deliver, wherever we go in terms of different series. Phillip Island, what a great race, and what an unusual sort of poor performance from Samborski. He made that mistake heading into turn 4. We haven't seen Samborski crack under pressure at all this season long. He'll be hoping to really bounce back, I think, today. It's going to be a long race around Interlagos, and Samborski, you know, we're already looking at, you know, the next season of racing. Samborski really needs to have a good race today just to set himself up, I think, for the new season.
What a few returning and new names to the championship for the season finale here today, with our very own Apex Racing teams. Jamie Fluke setting the initial pace with a 120.35. Dresho in second. Just while the drivers are just starting off their second lap. Aaron, Interlagos, it's a great circuit, nice and wide, plenty of overtaking opportunities. Where are the key parts around this track?
Well, I mean, the braking zone into turn 1, definitely one of the most difficult spots. Looking for your braking zone on the right, usually about the 50 board. Very, very easy to lock up into turn 1, and it can make or break your lap, going off into the grass, into the center S's, all the way down into turn 4, looking for your braking zone again around the 50 mark. But really, the middle sector is where the most time out of these drivers can really be extracted from the car, as again, fast sweeping sort of medium speed corners around 4th gear, it can really split the difference between drivers like Jamie Fluke and Zamborski and the drivers who are 2-3 seconds off the pace.
As you see, Shirakawa going up into second place there, joining Fluke on the provisional front row of the grid with Sambursky, Macias, also to complete the laps with Malloy. He's done us in qualifying. He's currently sitting in 6th place as Bauman comes across the line. He's 7th at the moment as we ride on board right now with Sambursky. That long run that Aaron was talking about, the up to the start-finish line, and also turn 1 as he hugs the wall, taking the shortest possible route. Isn't it an improvement in time? Yes, it is. It's good enough for pole here in Brazil by the American, and just fractions away from dipping into that 1:19 mark. A great lap from the American, who, as Seb rightly put it, having the bit between his teeth, looking for redemption that prevented his clean sweep of championship wins this season. As Gallus, he's coming across the line, currently lying down in 12th place, and wow, goes up into 5th. A great improvement for him. Josh Stewart as well up on the 2nd row of the grid. He joins Shirakawa there. As Macias Malloy demoted downwards, and big names, wow, Miguel Crespo right down through the order. He's down in made that 14th as Alacron goes up into 6th place, and I'll tell you who we're missing. Sadly, our race winner from last time out, he is not with us, Jason Sieg. So unfortunately, he can't make it. 2 wins on the trot. Let's just see Mallow come across the line, and there's no improvement from him. He goes about a tenth slower, so it looks like he's going to be starting from last place, and just not many drivers left to complete the lap. Alacron got another lap in the back, so that was an astounding first lap from him as Freckleton comes across the line. He improves time-wise, but remains down in 16th place. As we ride on board with the Iberian Alacron right now. Personal best is sectors 1, 2, best of anyone in sector 3. Halfway through the lap, just all hooking it up. The run down to Yunkao, onto the brakes, using all of that runoff area and a bit more on the entry and on the exit, and now just ensuring everything's up to that long run all the way down to the start finish line. Is he going to improve when it's the improvement in sector 4 as well? It's not going to be good enough for pole unless he has a mammoth final sector. Where's he going to move up? Let's find out, and it's good enough for the 2nd row of the grid, 3rd place for the Iberian. What an astounding lap, and it goes 200ths of a second quicker than Shirakawa. Wow, what a lap there, Aaron, from Marcus Alacron.
Yeah, an absolutely superb lap. That final sector looked absolutely gorgeous. The car hooking up exactly how he wanted it to. A very good qualifying. As you said, only 200ths ahead of 4th. This should be a very close race.
That should be indeed, as to wait for the top clock to just tick over. We've got about 20 seconds left for the drivers will be taking to the grid. A good chance to mention one of our sponsors for this race, SDK Gaming. If you're looking to add a live virtual HUD to iRacing, show timing towers, enhanced relief boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculators, and much more. You can also utilise it to broadcast your league and series. And SDK Gaming allows you to sync up your commentary team's cameras and focus on drivers and overlays with your broadcaster. We use it for all of our productions here at Apex Racing TV. You can also utilize it to adjust your team strategy on the fly with the most accurate live timing on iRacing. And also, just for good measure, there's a 14-day free trial as well. Make sure you check that one out as the drivers start to head to the grid. Let's take you through that. Zamborski starts from pole with Fluke joining him on the front row. Alacron and Shirakawa lined up in the 2nd row with Stewart and Macias on the 3rd row of the grid. Gallus, he's got Carlos Duresho for company with Malloy and Bauman rounding out your top 10. Byrne, Young, they're on the 6th row of the grid. And moving down through, we've got Jamie Byrne, and he's got Miguel Crespo for company alongside him on the 7th row, with Cornu and Freckleton making up your 8th row. With your 9th row. The last complete row is Shane Lambert and James Mallow, the 2 Americans. Wow, what can Lambert do? He's had a really excellent second half of the season. We've spoken to him a few times, and I'm sure We may well get a chance to hear today from Brazil. Let's wait on the last couple of drivers. Samborski leaving it traditionally late as he always seems to. Not long left on the clock for the drivers to head across and join the grid. Just waiting for a few of them now. Well, top three, ironically, going to be the last three in. I'll tell you what, Shirakawa qualifies well. Not always has the best luck during race pace. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on from the second row of the grid. Equally, Stewart, you've seen him get involved with these scuffles and exciting racing at the front. Can the Aussie make progress? Let's find out as let's get ready to go racing for the final time this season from Brazil. And we are away, and what a start from Shirakawa off the line. Completely catches Fluke, who's left unawares there off the start lines as we went green and we head down into turn one for the first time through the center S's. And Shirakawa, he's on an absolute fire. There's a big incident in the background there. Bauman, Young, Gallus all caught up, and wow, Gallus after that brilliant quad, and Josh Stewart's caught up in it too. Wow, a big accident in these early stages. I can tell you what, Alacron, he's made up another places. I think Fluke's up in him. He's dropped some more places. Yeah, there's another car off there too. It's Alacron. Oh no, after a great start from those two, they've fallen right down through the order, but there's action up and down the field. We haven't even completed half a lap here at Interlagos, as that's Macias trying to make a move around the outside. Can't get it done on Shirakawa, but as they trade places back and forth, they're still all side by side, and Macias just about holds on to it, but oh, he's losing place after place after place, and now he's getting the pressure because that is Alacron and Fluke all over him right now, and he's getting absolutely swamped up in these early stages of the opening lap to head down towards Juncal for the first time. Who's going to be the person who gets the best exit? Who's going to be the last late breakers down into turn one? Let's find out. But look at the lead already. Samborski has got 5.5 seconds on the opening lap, but this is where the action's at. This gaggle of cars, this long train that's sucked up behind one another. I tell you what, Miguel Crespo, what a start from the Aussie. He's already up 8 places. Likewise, Cornu and Freckleton up 8 places. James Byrne, he's up 7 in this opening lap. But Byrne going for one more, but he's been caught out here because Macias is going to find his way through. It's tucked up into the slipstream. Is he going to utilise one of his DRSs? No, he's not. And almost took Banks wheels there with Fluke on the entry. And Byrne getting forced wide. What an opening lap, Seb.
Craziness. It almost feels like Phillip Island just picked off it's picked off exactly where it left off. Jamie Byrne under pressure from Macias in Fluke. I wonder if Jamie Fluke and Yuki Shirakawa had a coming together through turn 4. They're both off the pace. Shirakawa 6 seconds away from Eddie Samborski in the lead of this race. So it's really going Samborski's way, less so everybody else that started really within the top 5. Craziness going on, Tim. It's going to be so crucial to not lose the slipstream of the driver ahead of you. If you do, you're going to be in for a world of pain. Apart from if you're Samborski, in which case you don't really need it. 6 seconds, you've got a gap behind you, nobody ahead. Samborski just in a league of his own.
He most certainly is, and well, if we know anything about the American, he'll just keep building that gap more and more. As see James Byrne there, Alacron on the attack in the background, getting a move done there over Dylan Freckleton. He drops down to 9th direction. Oh, Shuma's after the Shirakawa, he's off. Somewhere, there he is, he's off in the center S's. I'm not too sure how that's happened. I had a big clout with the barrier. We head across to the replay. Aaron, walk us through this one.
Well, he just absolutely goes into turn 1 pretty much spot on, but into turn 2, he just loses the rear on the exit of the corner, and that is his race pretty much over, hitting the barrier very hard, losing his front wing, but those few opening laps have been absolutely crazy. Pretty much everyone gaining or losing a minimum of 2 places, and Jamie Fluke having an absolutely horrible start, currently down 8 places from where he started in second, but Samborski running away with it so far.
Let's see Fluke right now hot on the tail of Jamie Byrne, just ahead of him. Well, part of this long train that goes all the way pretty much up to second place. Carlos Durescio currently holding on to that position. James Byrne on for a season best right now in 3rd place, but look at the recovery that Alacron is trying to put in here. That is Miguel Crespo, who's had a blinding start. He's up 9 places at the moment. If you can defend this place from Alacron down into the center arrests, here we go. And he's going to slam the door straight in the Iberian's face. He's also now got Cornu tucked up right behind him. As we head down the Retta Aposta. And are we going to see the drivers use any of their 8 available DRSs that they have? They can deploy them where they like, as many times as they want in a lap, but they're limited to 8 throughout the whole race. Let's just look back from Crespo. That is Alacron hot on our tail, and he's now losing time to Malloy ahead of him. As a little look up the inside, and once again from Alacron. And Crespo having to defend for his life because Cornu now trying to apply a bit of pressure onto Alacron. Managed to gain a little bit of time on Malloy. Is Burn having a little nip up the inside there. Lambert having a good start. He's gained 4 places, and Freckleton's off. He's gone spinning. And oh, that's disaster for him there, Aaron.
Yeah, he just seemed to lose it on the exit of that corner, and just completely, the car just looped on him. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but as we look now at Jamie Byrne in 9th place, currently battling in this, I think, 5-car battle for P7, and will he use one of his DRSs down the main straight to try and close the gap? It's about 6/10 at the moment.
Let's find out. We're going to see Fluke just saying, might have caught him in the foreground there of your camera and having a bit of a look up the inside. Alacron having a look on Crespo. He's got that move done. Fluke's got past Cornu. Now he's going to grind away at that 1.5 seconds gap that's opened up between himself and Crespo. I'll tell you what, Cornu was around to the back of Alacron and Crespo. Only this time last lap, so he's lost a whole chunk of time somewhere out on track. Interesting to see what the Northern Irish driver can do and whether he can make up that time. Knows by qualifying, you say probably can do, but James Byrne, what a race he is happening right now. He's up 8 places. He's in that last podium place, but I'll tell you what, Sean Malloy is making it uncomfortable for him. Did you see a replay of Bauman now, Seb?
Yeah, Aaron, why don't you take us away on this replay?
Well, just going into turn 1, he tries to get the switchback, but just gets it all wrong and crashes into the back of one of those drivers. It tends to happen at this track. You're just trying to get the switchback all the way down the Retta Aposta, but he just tried too hard, as we see the driver behind, Tao Young, locking up and getting caught up in that accident, trying to avoid it, but just slammed straight into them.
Wrong place, wrong time for him, unfortunately. As we see another replay of the opening lap where it's, oh, that was the big contact there between, that's what happened to Josh Stewart, just got tangled up on the car next to him. And wow, the Aussie just can't seem to catch a break right now in this second half of the season. And this is what happened to Fluke on the opening lap. Had a look at the inside and oh, just caught the 6 that was alongside him. Yuki Shirakawa, sorry, Marcus Alacron, apologies, it's the 5. No, Alacron, no, he spun as well, didn't he, of course?
He did.
Shirakawa.
Yeah, sorry, Alacron made a mistake all by himself. It was Shirakawa and Fluke coming together at the end, although we know that, you know, it didn't really matter for Shirakawa's race. He lost it all by himself on the exit of turn number 2. Fluke is doing a really good job, though, at the moment. After his first sort of lap escapades, he's starting to find his pace. Is the Apex Racing driver. I think also at the start, Fluke was unaware of how to get these cars off the line. They're very unusual in iRacing. They've actually got a launch control system, and that's how Shirakawa was able to get such a good start.
Hold on, Seb. This is going to be a change for third, potentially, because Alacron having a good look at the inside of Byrne. He's going to be desperate to hold on to this, please. He holds on right round the outside, having to do the hard work, but he's surely going to have to succumb to the pace of the Iberian. And I tell you what, that is Sean Malloy saying, thank you very much. I'll have a bit of that great big gap that's there. And he could even lose another place on the run down into the Cedar del Lagos. Fluke having a bit of a look. And in the space of 2 or 3 corners, James Byrne has dropped from 3rd all the way down to 6th. He's going to be frustrated by himself by that one, Seb, surely.
Yeah, James Byrne very much being railroaded, and you just get the sense of, or you just can see, I should say, how easy it is to start losing positions. Once he was out of line through turn 3, really opened the door for Malloy to go through, and Fluke following as well. Jamie Fluke really using his pro knowledge, as it were, dives to the inside once again, making short work of Malloy. I think Malloy as well, at this phase of the race, Tim, knows that Fluke was quicker in qualifying. There's no point in really fighting him, just gain his slipstream. You know, Malloy's fight is really with Byrne and Alacron in today's race. But, I mean, shout out to Marcus Alacron as well. He was sideways, you know, on lap 1. He's now back exactly where he qualified in 3rd place, and actually starting to catch Carlos Dreshko in 2nd. So Alacron having an absolutely amazing race so far.
It's basically been the race of big gains, big losses, and well, for only 2 drivers, there's been nothing in between. Samborski and Alacron are the only 2 drivers where they started. Other than that, everyone has gained or lost pretty much 4 positions at the bare minimum, with the exception of Cal Young, who's only at 1 in 11th. As Fluke now trying to help down the Iberians, who are holding on to 2 out of the 3 podium positions. You can see the drivers iRacing there right now on the screen. So that is up the inside goes Josh Stewart on the recovery guide. That's James Mallow who's got past there. Stewart, well, big 3.5 second gap now to Jaeger Racing's Lambert, who's currently in 14th place, but on lap 8 out of 27 here from Interlagos. Samborski leads from Teresho, Alacron in 3rd, Fluke 4th, Malloy, Byrne, Crespo, Cornu, Jamie Byrne and Sergio Macias currently rounding out your top 10 with Young, Frampton, Bauman, Lambert, Stewart, Mallow, Gallis. Still running all the way down 17th in Shirakawa. Unfortunately, he is out, as that's another new fastest lap of the race from Samborski, but as the fuel burns off, he gets into the stage of utilising those DRSs. That time is only going to come down, just like time is coming down right now. And this battle is up the inside. Crespo has a bit of a look, nearly makes contact with James Byrne there, who just about gets out in front of Crespo. And that could have been incredibly tight, but look at Cornu, he's the man to watch. And I tell you what, we're banging wheels, we're going to go 3 wide here, down the Rena Raposta. Everyone just backs out, dips himself back in together. There's Byrne and Cornu run wide, but Cornu's going to get a place over Crespo. I'll tell you what, the other Byrne, Jamie Byrne, he's now onto the back of this train. The 4-car train being bookended by the Byrnes right now. As we head round into Esse and Pinarino. It's a tricky corner here, isn't it, Adam? It just the car wants to understeer and then oversteer. You have to almost fight it through there. Well, certainly for myself, not being certainly near the caliber of these drivers.
Oh, absolutely. Going down that main straight, James Byrne, I think it was, absolutely just defending for his life. I think he may have used one of his DRSs to just keep the drivers behind, but constantly making contact. I think out at the exit of turn 2, Crespo just couldn't find a way past.
They're all starting to just spread out a little bit right now. Average gap between this group is about 4 tenths, and I'll tell you what, they've backed themselves up into Sergio Macias and Young, who are now onto this what was 4-car train. It's now turning into a 6-car train. So you look down the Reta Raposta, you can see all the way up to Alacron in 3rd. Well, that is a long way for these drivers, and right now Byrne is more concerned about trying to hold on to this 6th place. He's looking further up through the order. Lucas managed to catch up onto the back of Alacron. This is the last place on the podium here in Brazil. Seb, do you think you're going to see these 2 work together to try and catch up it with Duresho, or do you think we're going to see a bit of a dogfight develop here?
I think it's going to be a little bit of the latter. Alacron, he's got a lot to lose. You know, he's on the podium at the moment. Alacron, you know, he's had a very eventful race, and I think he'll be trying to continue that. But Jamie Fluke at the moment is only a 10th or 2 off Samborski's pace, which is quite astounding. Jamie Fluke, really, this is not his forte when it comes to racing. So I think the best idea is Alacron to allow Fluke to go past, and Alacron uses the draft. And I think, Tim, we're seeing that play out on your screen. Fluke round the outside, utilising one of his 8 DRSs, got the move done, and now I think, you know, Fluke will be able to catch up to Greshko. I think he'll be able to pull Alacron along as well. I think we could have a three-way battle for second place very shortly.
3 cars, 2 places on the podium. That's going to be interesting. As that's in the background there. That's Young getting past Macias. Or does he? Who's going to be last in the late break as well? Young just had to back out of it there. It's the Iberian feeling more confident, and Young at the train of this, tail of this train right now. Look, he's trying to make some progress. Everyone is around. It just seems to be. We're at that stage of the race. We always get into it where it just settles down a little bit. Everyone starts to just consolidate a little bit. We're seeing no different right now. Lap 11 out of 27 here from Brazil. What are we going to see? Because we know in a few laps' time, all of a sudden, someone will light the blue touch paper and it will all kick off once again. And then it'll be a flurry of activity right the way through to the checkered circuit. We've closed out the Formula Renault 3.5 Championship for the last few seasons on iRacing, and by golly, does it not make an amazing track. Always brings great action and drama as all. That's going to be a change for 6th place as Cornu trying to find a way past Byrne. Can't get it done. Crespo having to fend from Jamie Byrne there. As wow, that's going to compromise Jamie Byrne on the exit because Macias now all over the rear end of him. So you see him weaving around, swarming around. Down the back straight, here comes Macias looking for a move up the inside. Is he gonna get it done? Just out of the shot, yes he does, and he makes his way past the Jaeger Racing driver, Jamie Byrne. I'll tell you what, that is Cal Young trying to capitalise. Well, Burton is a little bit vulnerable, but can't quite get it done there, Adam. To Aaron.
Yes, Cal Young thinking about a move on and just a little bit of a lock-up. As we see the replay of Macias getting past Jamie Byrne all the way down the Reta Aposta. Didn't use his DRS, I don't think he needed to, being in the slip, but just gets on those brakes and moves his way past. And just in the back, you can see Cal Young trying to make his own move on Jamie Young, but just couldn't quite get it done.
This group is starting to really compress up right now, and Dylan Freckleton now joining in on the end of this train. Bauman, and I tell you what, Shane Lambert just caught a glimpse of him in the background too, as Cornu having a bit of a look around the outside of James Byrne there, but here comes Young up the inside. It's all happening down in the center. As Freckleton squeezes his fellow countryman to the outside there to just about hold on, but he's going to be vulnerable all the way down the Reta Aposta because he's going to be in the slipstream range, as that is Byrne having to defend from Cornu right now. It's hard to know where to look when you've got so many covers covered by such small gaps, and they bang wheels on the run up the hill, but Cornu's finally going to get the move done after looking at the back end of James Byrne's car for so many laps. The Frenchman finally finds a way past. Wow, Seb, that was... You see the way he set that up pretty much on the entry into the ZRSs.
Cornu was really smart there. He knew that, you know, if he made the move heading into turn 1, Byrne was just going to get the slipstream and re-overtake him into turn 4. So Cornu knew that he had to do it in a more unconventional place, and that's exactly what Cornu did. Although that threat has now, well, he's under threat as they exit the final corner up towards turn number 1. But I think Cornu has managed to extend the gap just enough in the middle section. Byrne now coming under pressure from Crespo in 8th place. Tell you what as well, 10th place, sorry Tim.
That was a very close from Crespo. Oh no, that's a locker from Malloy. He falls down through the order. Like I said, it was only a moment away from someone lighting the blue touch paper, and it'll all kick off once again.
The car in the background off. That's Cal Young.
Oh no, it was all going so well for Young, and it's all gone wrong for Young. Let's take a look. So this is on board with Malloy and Adam. Sorry, Aaron, I call you Adam every single time. Oh, he seems to lose the rear end there, doesn't he? Is that just too much speed he carried in?
Yeah, it just seems he broke a little bit too late and carried way too much speed, as we see now what happened to Cal Young going into turn 2. And I think he got hit. Yeah, he did get spun round all the way to the back of the field and just gives the wall a little bit of a tap. I don't think Young will be able to make any sort of comeback whatsoever, as we see now who actually hit him. I'm not quite sure who that is behind, but he just gives him a little bit of a tap. And that is a shame for Cao Young. And that was Lambert who hit him off.
It was Lambert who made contact with him. Just that bit of a connection there was enough just to settle Young's car, and around he went. There is Macias bringing extra misery onto Malloy, who's back to where he started basically. Down in 9th place is the Aussie. What can he do in this second half of the race? Can he pick himself up, dust himself down and crack on through the field? And he thought not much left of this race and not much left of the season. Chances to make up final places. Cornu, your biggest position gainer. The Frenchman up 10 places into 5th right now. I'll tell you what, that lead out in front of Samborski now has it at 15 seconds over Duresho. Just keep you updated as well. The gap between Duresho and then Fluke and Alacron, these latter two have still remained pretty close by one another, but have managed to close the gap to within 1.5 seconds. It was about 2.5 when Fluke made his way past the Iberian first of all. There's Duresho, and you can see the lap time difference there on the screen right now of on average about 2.5 to 3 tenths every single lap, and that is why that gap is starting to shrink down now. But then, Aaron, if you're Fluke and Alacron, how do you play this one? Do you just wait until the latter stages of the lap, or do you look to try and get the move done as early as possible and just try and pull away from Duresho?
Well, I think especially from Fluke's perspective, he is catching Duresho fairly quickly. So I think as long as he can get his way past, possibly on the main straight or the run down Beretta Aposta, he can just pull away enough of a gap to just get out of the slipstream and possibly keep that gap to Zamborski around 15 seconds, who knows. But you do have to remember that Alacron is very close behind, and it will be interesting to see if these drivers just work together to try and get past Duresho, or they both just go crazy and have a battle for P2. It will be amazing if they do for the spectators, but for them it will be extremely risky.
Lap 16 out of 27 here from Brazil. Still so many close battles ongoing. So there is Jamie Byrne trying to find a way past Malloy, but I'll tell you what, hot on the heels is Brecton and Baumann. The battle for, well, essentially 9th place, but Freckleton runs in a bit deep and a bit wide, and that's going to allow Baumann to come straight past him. And it just seems to be going from bad to worse right now for Freckleton, Seb.
It does. It sort of reminds me of the race at Okayama when Freckleton had so much pace, but just the luck went against him, and it seems to be happening at the final race today. Malloy as well, a little bit slow out of the final corner. Byrne getting past him, and Malloy now coming under pressure from Baumann. I wonder if that number 10 car has a little bit of damage. It just doesn't seem to him to be so quick in a straight line, and we know how sensitive these cars are. Freckleton tries to find a way down the inside, has to go the long way around. Freckleton trying to get past Baumann, cannot find a way through. I tell you what, Freckleton, he's trying to change his luck out there at the moment. 10 laps to go in this season. What will we see from Dylan Freckleton, I wonder?
Well, I'll tell you what we've just seen from Sam Borski, a new fastest lap of the race, a 1:20.98. First drivers drip into the 1-minute 20s. So this is on board with Fluke, and look who is ahead of us right now. That is Duresho, and that is what 0.2 of a second looks like here at Brazil. As another new fastest lap of the race from Sam Borski, but here comes Fluke right around the outside. DRS activated, full attack mode. He's going to have for the hard work right round the outside, the long way round, but Duresho just concedes the corner in the end, and the Northern Irish driver makes his way back up into second, back to where he started. But well, bar some miracle at 17 seconds, I think this is looking like Sam Borski's race just needs to bring this one home right now, doesn't he, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, it's unlikely we'll see a mistake from Zamborski. He has been extremely consistent, winning 11 out of the 12 races so far, if he can win this race. But I do believe that gap will continue to grow as he set a new fastest lap again last time around, a 1:20.96. as we now see the battle for P7, I believe, between Crespo and Macias. And Crespo just hanging behind, going into the first pass of the middle sector, now coming into Pinorino. And behind him, Burn all over the back of him. He might try and go for a move all the way down the main straight, but now he's just going to sit behind. You can see he takes a wider line through that corner to try and get a good exit. And let's see what he does now coming out of the final corner. Whether he will activate DRS to try and get past the Aussie, who knows?
Wow. Let's find out together, of course. Not like the Formula 1 wings where the wing actually opens up here with these cars. It's actually a flap that closes to stall the wing, and that's what causes the reduction in downforce. We're on board with Jamie Byrne right now, and you can see where could have got a bust through the apex there. Byrne running in incredibly deep, and that's going to cost him on his advances of Crespo and of Tefei. He's lost about 4 attempts, and he's now putting right under pressure from Malloy, who's looking like he's going to slip it up the inside here into Desida del Lago, but can't get the move done, has to back out of it. Jamie Byrne saying, no, you don't. You don't have it that easy, my friend, and manages to keep hold of 9th place for now. But I tell you what, Deb, he's looking under a whole world of pressure right now as Jamie Byrne.
He is very much like his relative James Byrne in 6th place. It feels like both the Byrnes have spent more time looking in the mirrors today than they have looking forward. I wonder if Byrne was a little bit caught out by the fact that that Crespo was actually on the DRS ahead of him, and that would mean that Crespo is going quicker and sort of generating a little bit more of a slipstream effect. So Byrne would have arrived at turn 1 with a few more kilometers an hour, and I think that caught him out just a little bit. Look at this, Dreshko now under pressure from Alacron down towards turn number 1. What's happened to Cornu? He's out on our screens.
Oh no, Cornu has gone, and after an incredible race, he was the highest position gainer, and he has gone. Oh, nothing, just he drops right down through the order. I'm not so sure what's happened to him. Maybe a disconnection or something, but I'll tell you what, it's all on in this battle for the last place on the podium, because here comes Alacron. Round the outside, gets the move done. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Against the ratio on what looked like a comfortable 2nd place is now turning out to be a real struggle for Duresho to try and get back into the podium positions. His fellow countryman has managed to slip his way past, but I tell you what, this little battle in the midfield will not leave one another alone. They have been going at it all race long in one form or another. It's Macias, Crespo, Byrne, Malloy, Bauman, Stewart now up onto the back of them, in fact. Good recovery from Stewart. Let's face it, he was down and out, it looked like, after that incident. Into turn 1 and just gradually picked himself back up as Dureshi's managed to make his way back past Alacron off cameras. There you go, he is back ahead. That looked like he was starting to struggle a little bit. He's managed to get the move done, but Crespo under pressure right now from Jamie Byrne and also Malloy. They move left, they move right. They all move across the track, trying to cover off one another and looking up the inside and forcing Crespo wide. Goes Byrne, but Malloy's in the power position because he's managed to take the racing line all the way through the Center S's, through the Curva del Sol, down the Reta Aposta. But look at Bauman in the background. Is he going to get a 2-for-1 deal down into the Desida del Lago? Has to think twice about it. Checks up. Good. Oh, then there's contact with Lloyd. Oh, and Stewart T-bones him. And it could not get any worse for the Aussie. A race full of just, well, complete and utter bad luck, Seb.
Complete and utter bad luck. Stewart had a disastrous race at Phillip Island 1 week ago as well. We ride on board with Bauman. He sees Byrne up ahead, go defensive, pulls back in. Bauman heads to the inside, just understeers wide. Malloy a little bit cutting him off, I think you have to say, at the apex of turn 4. Sort of inevitable contact, I think, there, Tim, but you've got to feel for Stewart. There was nowhere he could have gone. He just turned the corner to see a Formula 3.5 car facing across the track, a sight that I'm sure he would not like to replicate.
Hold on, Seb, this is a change yet again. Alacron, well, has he got the move done on Duresho? Yes, he has. It's Duresho bumbles his way across the curves on the inside, and that is what has allowed Alacron to get past into third for the second time today. And what has Duresho got in answers? Still got a bit of time on his side though, Aaron. He's got 5 laps left remaining here from Brazil, but definitely the work to do.
Yes, absolutely. The battle, just as you were saying a few laps ago, the battle for the midfield is looking intense as we see Crespo and Byrne going side by side, and he loses it. Crespo loses it going into Interlagos, and that is going to hurt his chances of getting a top 10 today. But still, if he pushes hard enough, he can still get it done.
Wow. So we're right on board with Crespo. Let's take a look at how it unfolded. So defense to the inside. That's Jamie Byrne on the outside. And, well, it seemed like a bit of spin on an unforced error. Just outbraked himself onto the on the inside line to Crespo there. And it all went wrong for him. And he stumbled all the way down to 11th now. As you mentioned, Aaron, 3.2 seconds behind Lambert and that chance to get into the top 10. But once again, these two are at it, and there's always a big fight after every one of the podium places here in the season finale from Interlagos. And this season, it's all about the battle between Alacron and Duresho. 2 seasons ago, it was Samborski and Pinsker. And what can Duresho do to make his way past Alacron? The clock is ticking down. 4 laps is all that is left here in Brazil. And what has Duresho got left in the tank? How many DRSs has he got left? There's so many questions. Well, we'll find out come the end. But right now, I mean, surely Seb, this is advantage Alacron. He's looking a lot more confident, just the body language of the car.
He certainly is, and Alacron as well, you know, he did have to come through the field at the very early phases of the race, but Dreshko, you can see you visually see that he has been using his DRSs a little bit more. He used one to repass Alacron a few laps ago, so, you know, from our uneducated spot in the commentary booth, I think Dreshko will have a few DRS uses less than Alacron. Alacron, in fact, using one of them to stay ahead of Dreshko down towards turn 1, the center S's. Alacron, you're right, he just looks more comfortable in that car. He had such an incredible drive through the field, and it's amazing, you know, to think that Alacron is even fighting for a podium considering what happened to him on the opening lap.
Nice. There is Jamie Byrne and Malloy. Malloy trying to find the way around the outside. Can't quite it done. Tries to look for the switchback, but he's lost. Oh, he lost a big amount of time, but that's a big error and a big mistake from Jamie Byrne. And wow, we were saying about could Crespo get inside the top 10? Well, he's going to, because the Jaeger Racing driver just loses it. Oh, I mean, it didn't seem to connect with the grass there at all, Aaron. But I'm not too sure what caused it as well. That's a retirement for Byrne to join Stuart Cornu and Shirakawa, the 4 retirements that we've had here today.
Yeah, I mean, that accident was nearly identical to what happened to Shirakawa. Just, I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't know if he touched the grass or just too much of the curb, but yeah, nearly identical accidents, just losing it at the exit of turn 2 and spinning into the wall and ending their races. But now we continue to look at the battle for the last podium positions. Is Deracho going to go for a move into turn 1? He gets the slipstream, tries to go around the outside, maybe into turn 1. Just sticks a nose in, but Alacron just blocks him off from getting that switchback. But now all the way down the Retro-Poster, is he going to open his DRS? Does he even have any left? We don't know. I think he has opened the DRS as we head now down into turn 4. They're side by side, and Deracho gets on the brakes just a little bit later. He's now on the outside line for this next corner, but now the inside for turn 6. As we go into this corner, Alacron just slightly ahead and brakes a lot later. He's going to shut the door probably, and yes, he does. What an amazing battle for the 3rd place.
You saw a little bit of a twitch there on locking up from Duresho. There's Alacron just trying to cement that 3rd place, but I'd tell you what, the clock is ticking down further. Our top 2, well, they're clearly established. They just need to bring the cars home as Samborski and Fluke, but it's all about this battle. That last place on the podium, and for the first time in a few laps, Alacron just giving himself a bit of fresh air. It's not much. It's half a second between himself and Carlos Durecho right now. But that gap's going to tumble. It's going to shrink as they head down towards turn 1. There are 2 laps left. And that's 2 sets of opportunities for Durecho to make his way past Alacron as they're onto the brakes, matching each other right now through the first sector, out of the Curva del Sol. And Durecho needs to be that little bit closer, but I tell you what, he's shrinking the gap. It's down to 2 tenths, and he has a bit of a look up the inside. It's a bit of a fake, giving Alacron right now something to think about. I think Durecho right now is just sizing up Alacron for size for a big lunge into, I'm going to call it, into the Interlagos on the final lap.
I mean, that makes the most sense, because after really Decina Delago, it turns 4 and 5. There's not too much of a clean overtaking opportunity, so I think that's Dreshko's best opportunity to really secure that 3rd place. But Alacron as well, what's he got up his sleeve? I tell you who doesn't need anything up his sleeve is this man, Eddie Samborski. His most dominant victory all season long, and that is saying something. Almost 20 seconds separates himself and Jamie Fluke. Fluke as well, he's in a bit of no man's land, so really is all about who will be on the podium with these two. Will it be Alacron or will it be Dreshko?
Well, the white flag's in the air, 1 lap left to go from Brazil, round 12 of the iRacing Formula Renault 3.5 Championship, and here goes Durecho right round the outside into turn 1. That is the move done. That is Durecho back onto the podium, and Alacron just left floundering on the corner exit, and now it's going to take something big. It's going to take something massive, as that is Lambert having to defend from Crespo right now, I believe. No, there is Crespo. For apologies, having to defend from Cal Young. That was Lambert on Freckleton. As that is Lambert having a bit of a half spin there. He's managed to get the car back up and running, but he's going to come in a bit of pressure maybe in the last stage of the race between Crespo and Young, as Young dueling it out with the Aussie. And is he going to take it right around the outside? Yes, he is. Exceeded Largo. That's a pickup. His 11th victory of the season. Samborski wins in Brazil. Fluke is surely going to come home in 2nd place, but has Durecho done enough to hold off the advances of Alacron? Because that gap is shrinking a little bit right now. There goes Fluke, make up 2nd on this first time this season in the broadcast split. Good result from him, and yes, Durecho emerges from round the corner, and that means he has got 3rd place in that last place on the podium here in Brazil. Wow, what a race, but it's still not quite done and dusted. Still some positions up for grab, because Lambert under a bit of pressure from Young, who's managed to find his way past Crespo, as we saw previously in the lap. But I think Lambert's just about done enough here, Seb, to hold off the advances. Yes, he has.
Yeah, I think Shane Lambert will be very thankful that the race ended this lap and he didn't have to complete an extra tour of the circuit. Lambert's tyres undoubtedly would have been screaming after that half spin through turn 3. In fact, Shane Lambert very lucky to not do what Shirakawa and Byrne did and end up in the wall on the outside. Such a tricky corner is turn 3 around here. But I mean, Tim, Aaron, what an incredible race to round out the season. It's been such an enjoyable season all season long. We've had great races, really interesting action, and that battle for 3rd place, I mean, was just utterly incredible.
Well, yes, I do have to say as well, shout out to Cal Young, being last place and about 10 or 15 seconds off the top 10, getting into 10th position, finishing 2 places ahead of where he started. Massive shout out to him, a superb drive. But as you said, Edward Samborski, absolutely stunning drive. 4 tenths faster he was than Jamie Fluke on that last lap. Absolutely stunning performance all season.
Oh, wow. I mean, you can't argue with that too. Let's just run you through your classified results here for the final race of the season. Samborski taking the victory, and the Grand Challenge as well. Picked up fastest lap of the race. He led every lap, started from pole. Another dominant display, and it's the first time since Hockenheim, I believe, that the last time we saw that sort of play from Samborski. Fluke Second with Duresho in the end, claiming that last place on the podium. A great drive from him after a treating battle from Alacron, who just missed out and has to settle for fourth. James Byrne finishes fifth with Macias, Malloy, Freckleton, Lambert and Young rounding out your top 10. And, well, Freckleton and Lambert up 8 places, your biggest position climbers here today. Crespo 11th with Gallus, Mallow. Last 2 drivers finished on the lead lap, taking up the 13th place. Bauman 1 lap down, and then it's into the retirement of Jamie Byrne, who we lost him on lap 23, Cornu on lap 22, Stewart on lap 21, and Shirakawa, we lost all the way back on lap 6. But just waiting for a few of the drivers to pop up. We'll have a bit of a chat with them and gather their thoughts of what's been another absolutely entertaining season. And I'll tell you what, let's wait for them. Let's have another mention to another one of our sponsors, Virtual Racing School. If you're looking to improve your on-track performance, they have 50 plus data packs for road and oval racing, setups, track guides, data analysis software, and also one-on-one coaching. Make sure you track these guys out. Absolutely amazing stuff. But let's have a bit of a chat to one of our drivers. First up, it is race winner. Well, a return to form, shall we say, a dominant display. Eddie Samborski joins us now. Eddie, well, welcome back to the top.
Thank you. I don't know what happened, but I had way too big of a lead after lap 1. I was looking for cars in the rearview mirror and there was nothing.
I mean, yeah, it was something like about a 5-second lead you had at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, there's obviously contact and spins, and there had to be carnage. So that's really unfortunate. The track conditions were tough, so that does not surprise me. It was hot and windy. I don't want to, unseasonably hot, I guess you could say. I did a few practice races, and they were a good 10 degrees cooler. So I actually said something before the start of the race to try and remind everyone. But, heat of the moment, people are going to go anyways.
I mean, yeah, there was a few moments of contact in the background, which did obviously help you put you on your way. But even so, I mean, you've closed out the race with a nearly 20-second gap to Fluke in second place. I mean, that's just an astounding, relentless set of pace. I mean, I know after missing out on the victory last time out at Phillip Island, I mean, I'm sure you're back with your bit between your teeth and looking to close out the season with a win.
Absolutely. There's a lap time I've been trying to achieve since I've been driving Interlagos in the race in this car, and I actually did it yesterday. So I spent all week. It's actually a 119.9. Out of 3 years driving this car, just about 3 chances for 3 years, I've never done it. I finally did it yesterday. So that's honestly what was motivating me. It sounds stupid, but today the conditions would not have allowed it. I was trying to get to a 20.4. That's about what I figured I could do with DRS, and I just kept making mistakes towards the end of the race trying to find the extra time. So I don't know if it was possible or not, but I'm disappointed in myself because that was my last goal for the season. But what are you going to do,
Well, there's always next season, isn't there, Eddie? And I'm sure, I haven't seen I don't think they're out yet, the schedule for next season, but I'm sure it'll be finishing off here at Interlagos. It's become a bit of a tradition. So, this circuit and this car the last week of the season. But, Eddie, before we let you go for the final time this season, anyone you want to give a shout out to at all?
Oh, yeah, this is a long one. So I got to thank Apex and VRS. I follow their data packs. I use any setup shops setup. I've frequented all of them, so I have to thank all of them guys. I have to thank all the drivers, all the donators, all the previous community managers, all the people who are invested in the series. It's great to have people that care about the car, and we bicker because we care, so that's good. It's a good thing to have. And I'd like to thank everyone that watches the broadcast. It's good fun, I mean, some of us are never going to end up in a real car, so this is what we do for fun. Excuse me.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure watching you, and, well, if someone wants to learn how to drive this car, then I think you're definitely the current benchmark and people to aspire to be like with what's been an absolute dominating season from you. That is Eddie Samborski, your winner here today from Brazil. Seb, I understand you're standing by with another one of our drivers.
Oh, I certainly am, Tim. And we've got Jamie Fluke, who I think had a really interesting race. Jamie, welcome to the commentary booth, although a little bit of a different role for yourself. A bit of an up and down race on your side. Talk us through the start, first of all.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, not the launch off the line that I was expecting. I did what I thought was good, and it clearly was not. So my lack of experience in these things definitely let me down. And then turn 4 happened, where like the car kind of, the nose sort of just there on the inside. It's like, okay, well, hopefully he's not going to just swipe straight across and turn in and take the apex, and then that's kind of what happened. I wasn't deep on the brakes by any means. Like, if I wanted to bomb it in, I probably could have nearly cleared him. I was like in the process of backing out of the move, and we still had contact. So that put me, P12, 13, something along those lines, and it was just a slow and steady recovery drive from there.
I mean, it looked quite fun out there. Of course, you don't tend to drive these Formula 3.5 cars. How did it fare to your normal Porsche Cup machinery?
Yeah, quite different. It's got wings and things, which is always quite nice. Downforce around here is a gift, it must be said. But that was the first race I've ever done in this car, so yeah, it was a bit of a rude awakening. I think I got the setup quite badly wrong as well. Like, guys were very quick in a straight line and then still quick at high speed, whereas I focused on the low speed stuff, and I don't think that really helped. I had to burn through a lot of DRSs just to make moves happen, and then burn 1 or 2 as well just to stay ahead. So it's definitely a different experience, but yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it. It's good fun.
It certainly looked like that from our perspective. You know how dominant Eddie Samborski is. As a pro driver yourself, and now having driven, the car for yourself, what makes Eddie Samborski so good? Because, I mean, he was in a league of his own today, the winning margin, almost 20 seconds.
It helped that Yuki and I had the issue at the start. It would have been definitely a bit less than that had we not had issues, but he still would have won the race for sure. I didn't get to see much of what he was actually doing to be able to judge where he was quick and what was making him quick, but he's someone who clearly lives and breathes the car and knows it inside and out, so he knows all the tricks of the trade and how to make this thing tick. So I guess it's just like an all-round solid package, and he knows exactly what he's doing with this thing, and he made it show today. So fair play to him.
He certainly did. Well, I mean, we say it to everybody, and we'll say it to you. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to at all on the broadcast? Yeah,
just to everyone and the Apex Racing team and all of our branches, the whole Apex Racing UK conglomerate, shall we say. I mean, the fact that I get to do this full time is because of so many people who put so many hours into making what we do happen. To you guys for the broadcast as well. If there wasn't a broadcast for this, I probably wouldn't be doing this race right now. So, but we'll take that as a win as well. Special shout out to Michele Constantini, who does the setups for the Formula Renault 3.5 for Apex Racing Academy. That's what I used, definitely as a starting point before I obviously had to tinker myself and just try and learn the car for myself. But big shout out to him, and I think I've kind of covered pretty much everyone. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Jamie, for joining us in the commentary booth, and congratulations on your second place, on your debut in the series.
Cheers, appreciate it.
And wow, Tim, what an amazing race to top off an absolutely amazing season. I've had such fun, commentating on all the action. It's become a staple in my weekly commentary schedule, and I'm going to be gutted that we're not going to be here next week.
It's definitely going to be one of those situations, isn't it, where you miss it, but wow, we're looking forward to next season getting underway and kicking off, and sure, picking up where we left off as we've done so many times this season. Seb, 3 words from you to sum up this season.
Completely, utterly amazing.
And Aaron, I know you've only been with us for one race, and welcome to iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. But from yourself, give me 3 words to sum up today.
Completely, utterly bonkers.
Well, there we go. that just about sums it up nicely. And well, coming up on the channel tomorrow evening, it's the usual fun and excitement. We have got the SRF Weekend Warriors. I'll be in the commentary booth with that Andy Thompson for that one. Big grids, big action, big drama every step of the way. Make sure you tune in for that one. Also, just kicking off a little bit after that, about half an hour afterwards, Seb and Austin will be in the commentary booth for IGP Fun F3 League. And, well, that's a pretty similar story from there. Big grids and big excitement for them as well. Oh, wow, what a season it's been. Eddie Samborski, 11 wins from 12. Couldn't quite make it the full 12 from 12. But my golly, what an astounding feat from the American. Near complete dominance, but as good as pretty much you'll probably ever get. Can he do the same again next season? Or will we find someone to come along to take the fight to the American? Well, it's been an absolute pleasure for having all of you. I've been Tim Cox with Seb Bosch-Williams, Aaron Smith, and Sam Fitzpatrick. Thanks very much for watching, and good night.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.